Guys and girls, sometimes it's going on in your head when you want a mortgage. We've got mortgage broker Mark Conway here to talk about mortgages in 5 seconds.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
So, Mr. Conway, you've had a big night watching the soccer.
I've had a big night watching the soccer, getting everyone's paperwork ready for the day. And we're here to talk about mortgage ball breaking and the delays with paperwork.
So the biggest problem you have in your business, or one of the biggest problems you have in your business at the moment, is client rings up, client says, "Yep, this is what I want to do." What happens then? They give you some figures.
Yes,
and
I'm in
say,
a hurry. We run some figures, and it can take weeks and weeks and months to get paperwork. And then we've got to redo all the paperwork that's expired. And it's difficult at times to get paperwork in this day and age. It's hard to download a bank statement sometimes. Pay slips don't come very often. People send ID with expiry dates cut off. There's a raft of issues with paperwork these days, and banks are just unforgiving. Like if it's not 100%, got to go back to the client and do it all again.
Got to go back.
And being organised, getting all your bank statements, which generally come every 6 months, knowing where all of your savings accounts are located, how many credit cards you've got lying around in that drawer that you've only used for a holiday that you haven't spent in God knows how many years. Making sure that your wife or your husband has got all their paperwork in order as well. These are the things that cause big delays, and we're in a world of slow banking. And everyone's working from home. The Christmas rush wasn't taken care of very well with banks last year. Self-employed.
So there's a backlog from
There's
Christmas.
a big backlog from last year.
From Christmas,
and it could be a couple of weeks, depending on. If you run your own business, you could be looking at 2 or 3 weeks to even get a credit application looked at the moment. So what we need from everyone is to have all of your ducks in an order. Which means start ASAP. Follow the detailed checklist that we give you. It's usually only about 10 things to get ready, which is not that difficult. Make sure it comes across in nice, good quality. Then we can do our job, and we can get an application submitted within a day or two and get you approved as quickly as possible. That's the name of the game.
So what happens is, good morning, Luke. Good morning, Anmol. Guys and girls, if you've got any questions for a qualified broker, throw them at us right now. We'll answer them right now for you. Obligation free. So Mark, so this is how it goes. A buyer rings you, husband, wife, single, they ring up and say, "Hey, I've been referred to you by Mary. I'm thinking of buying a unit for $750,000 in Penthurst. Penthurst. Let's say DY.
Easier.
Okay, what do you say?
I say great. We're going to need a few things to make sure that we can, 1, service the loan, and 2, have a look at all the different banking options are out there.
Do you ask them about their deposit and how much income they earn on that phone call?
Yes. So we run some detailed figures first, just to make sure that all the ducks are in order, and that it's a good-looking application.
Do you break their heart sometimes?
I try not to break hearts because we always want to try and find a way to help people. But knowing what you earn, knowing where your paperwork's located, being organised, having everything on the email as quickly as you can will get you an approval quicker, which means that you'll be in the market and you'll be able to bid a property and be well organised, which is the most important thing. Because we're in an increasing market at the moment in general.
So property prices are going up.
Going up and up and up. And we want to be as organised as possible. We want to be more organised than people with bad paperwork who take weeks and weeks and weeks to get everything to their broker or to their bank. And we want to beat them so we get the property that the client wants in a reasonable, efficient time frame.
As a broker, do you want to get the information trickle fed to you, or do you want it in one file, everything you've asked?
One file's better. If you send 15 emails, we've got to convert everything. That first email might have been a week or two before. It's not an efficient way of doing things.
Do you prefer JPEG or PDF?
PDF. Banks love PDFs.
Banks love PDFs.
Yeah, good quality. We don't lose resolution.
But don't the clients have a problem getting the PDFs?
Occasionally they do.
Yeah.
And if you do think you're going to struggle getting with paperwork, let us help you.
You don't deserve a loan. Screw you.
No, you do deserve a loan, but let us help you because it's in your best interests for us to help you to get your paperwork together.
Okay. So, question. So they've called you. They've said, I want to buy this property in Penthurst. I want to borrow $750,000. They've given you the income. They've told you their income. They've told you their deposit, and you'll go, yep, that sounds possible. Is that what you say?
That's right. We say or achievable. That's an achievable goal.
Achievable goal.
On face value, everything looks great. Your income, your expenses all match up.
Yep.
The quicker you can get me your paperwork.
Put the cash in your boot of your car and you drive it to them.
And that's right. Yeah, I take the cash.
Yeah, and you take it to the customer.
And I take it to the customer.
Just unload it with a shovel.
And unload it. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you said that's achievable. So you send them a form. Do you send them a form so you'll know which bank you reckon they're profiled for, and that's the application form you'll send them, or you'll send them your standard application form?
So first of all,
Mark's a broker, so you do all the banks.
So we'll send them a form just to capture some data.
Yeah.
We'll send them a list of what we need just to make sure that everything on the phone matches up to the paperwork.
Yep.
We'll then do some quick research.
So is that a banking form? Is that your brokerage form, or is that for a specific bank?
That's just a general data form.
Okay.
We'll get all of your paperwork, pay slips, tax returns, bank statements. We'll then be able to put that into our systems.
Yes.
Run some figures, check banking policies, to be able to then come back to you as a customer with a couple of recommendations on what is the most suitable options. Plural.
Yes.
And then we will cherry pick some good interest rates, good bank service times, so we can actually get something prepared.
How long is it between the client ringing you up and saying, this is what I want, and you go, yep, that's possible, and them giving you a complete set of paperwork?
Look,
I ask this question because I often hear, we've known each other a long time, and I often hear you like, they haven't sent the paperwork, I'm still waiting for this. Or, how long does it get it, on average, to get a full set of paperwork from a client once they've rung you?
Anywhere between 3 or 4 days is generally the fastest. No one ever seems to do it quicker than 3 or 4 days, up until 3 or 4 weeks. And then if it hits that 4th week, then some of the paperwork's now expired. So we need to be as organised as possible.
It's a ball breaker.
It's a ball breaking, that's right. Yeah, that's it. So
if you call your broker and you want a loan, if you can get that and the broker gives you a list of what needs to be done, if you can do that in 3 or 4 days, you're a champion.
You're a champion, that's right. If you can get paperwork to me in a week, I can come back to you in another 24 hours. And we can have something lodged, and we can have you approved in a really, really expedited, speedy matter of time.
Okay. Now, Anmal says some systems are piloting clients uploading their documents to a portal, making it easier for broker to process.
Look, that is true. It just depends on if you're comfortable sharing your data with third parties. We use a company that can get all your bank statements downloaded for you as well.
Yep.
But you still need all of your income. You still need all of your ID. There is a complete package needed.
Yep.
And as the borrower, being organised and knowing where you keep all your bits and pieces, all your paperwork, how quickly can you get your pay slips from your employer? Can you go into MyGov and download a summary from last tax year?
Yep.
There's a few things that the onus is on the borrower. Yes, there are third parties out there that can help you, but some people have concerns over privacy on issues like that.
Okay.
And the list is only 10 it might be 10 or 12 documents at the most.
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
So that list, when you're asking people for information and they're taking 3 or 4 days to be super quick and getting information,
Yeah.
or they're taking 3 or 4 weeks to be a slow coach, what are the critical documents that are in there that you're asking for as a broker these days? Because people can, guys and girls, you can start getting this information ready together right now, even if you haven't picked up the phone to a broker. You can actually start
That's
getting
right.
this information.
In essence,
In essence,
we need 2 things to buy property. We need cash for our deposit and income to service the debt.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we need ID and bank statements for cash.
Yeah.
And also for expenses.
So bank statements for the cashola that you're saying you got as a deposit.
That's right.
You want to see that.
That's right. Bank statements for all of your expenses.
Bank statements for expenses. So when you're tapping your card, when you're going to a cafe, the bank's gonna want to see that.
That's right. So we've got to fill out some categories. We want to make sure that we can accurately do those.
Yes.
Credit card statements.
Credit card statements. You want to see a copy. How long back for?
3 months would be a great idea.
So 3 months of credit card of credit cards. How much of bank statements? How far back do you want to go?
So 3 months for savings and 6 months for home loans and investment loans.
Okay. So you want all this information. What else do you need?
We need ID. Usually 100 points of ID, passport and license is a great start.
Yep. Passport, license, and a PDF.
And a PDF of
those
right?
things.
And if you're self-employed, 2 times tax returns.
Self-employed, 2 weeks of tax returns?
2 years of tax returns.
2 years of tax returns if you're self-employed.
That's right, yes.
If you're PAYG, so difference between self-employed and PAYG, employer paying you
a salary.
A
couple of pay slips.
How many pay slips do you want?
2 pay slips would be great.
2 months, 2
2
weeks?
months, or 2 pay cycles.
2 pay cycles.
Yep.
Okay.
Then generally, last year's taxable income.
So you want 2 years of taxable incomes?
No, just one. Usually.
1 year of taxable income.
That's right.
If you're PAYG.
2 years is great because we can show even more consistency.
Yes.
It just depends on the level of risk on the application. But there's a documentation list which has got a really concise list of documents.
What else do you need?
That's close to about it.
That's all.
That's about it. But if you've got investment properties, we need the rent, we need the council rates. There's a few more lists depending on how complex your personal situation is.
Okay, so
but that initial list that we've spoken about is a really good start from a high level perspective, just to work out what your borrowing power looks like, what your options look like, what are the best banks. We can then come back to you with a bit of a structure, a strategy to move forward, and some indicative pricing.
Okay. So people get all that information to you. The ball, they don't bust your balls.
They don't bust my balls.
They get it to you within 2, 3, 4 days. This information.
We'll come back to you within about a day or two as well.
You can start getting this information together even without your broker now, guys.
Yep. We usually run 24 to 48 hours.
Yes.
As a time frame to come back to all clients.
Okay, that was my next question.
That's right. And then we can have an application lodged within 24 to 48 hours after that as well.
Okay, so you'll get all that correct paperwork, and then you'll ring up the client within 24 hours.
That's right.
And you'll say, this looks like, I reckon we can get this done.
We can get this done. These are a couple of the banking options. Your personal situation really suits lender X.
Yes.
I suggest we send them an application. This is what the loan size looks like. This is what your interest rate looks like. These are what your indicative repayments are like. Are you happy with that? Yes, I am. Thanks very much.
Yes.
Here's the application. Here's all of our compliance documents. Please sign a date and we'll send it into the bank on your behalf.
And then on average, when you've been sending it to banks, this is still free, by the way. This is still free. You haven't
paid a dollar
for it.
That's
and if
right.
you get the loan or don't get the loan, it's still free. And
still free.
Yeah,
still
wow.
Free. That's right.
Okay, so you've submitted to a bank. On average, the bank is coming back to you in what time frame? Is coming back to the client saying, well done.
Well
Here's
done comes
loan.
Anywhere between 3 and 4 business days and a week in a bit at the moment, depending on where we're shopping. And then as we move to the end of January and into February, that will come down from anywhere from half a day up until maybe 2 or 3 days, because the service levels are about to come down and down and down as the banks catch up from all of their December, January backlog of applications. So lots to look forward to. There's going to be a big year. Generally, we're in a rising market. Get your paperwork in order and let us come back to you with some options and a strategy that will allow you to buy, refinance, release equity, or anything else that you'd like.
That's a take. That's a take, guys and girls. So if you're getting a loan, don't bust the balls of your broker. Give them the information up front in one file as openable, clean PDFs, clear PDFs, and you'll make your broker life easier.
That's right.
You'll help the relationship more rather than taking 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks or sending it through in dribs and drabs.
That's right. That's right.
Mark Conway, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
It's the man. See you guys. Any questions, you let us know. And if we need a topic you want us to talk about, let us know as well. Direct message us or put it in the post here. Love ya. See ya. Thanks, legend.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
See you, bud. Bye-bye.